What's up, guys? This is Ant with the Just Absolutely Boxing Podcast. Today we are back with another great episode. This will be episode 31. Now, in this episode, I originally recorded it as episode 30, but since then we squeezed in a Spence and Peterson breakdown, so make sure you go back and check that out. But this episode, we go into Raleigh's Jawbreaker Boxing and we chop it up with North Carolina 2017 Fighter of the Year, Donnie Marshall. This was some real guerrilla podcasting. We shot it right on the spot in the gym, so excuse some of the background noise, but hey, that's what we do to get the real. Anyways, shout out to our listeners and enjoy. All right, y'all, welcome back to the 30th episode of the Jab Podcast, Just Absolutely Boxing Podcast. My name is Ant, with my partner P.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
And today we got a special guest in the house. First of all, we not in the studio. We up in Raleigh's own Jawbreaker Boxing. We up in here with a young prospect from Buffalo, New York. He's now fighting out of Raleigh, North Carolina. 6-0 with 4 knockouts. All right, and he recently was voted 2017 North Carolina Fighter of the Year.
What's up?
We up in here with Donnie Marshall. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Welcome, man. Welcome.
Thank you, brother.
Happy to have you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, but just want to chop it up with you a little bit about boxing and how did it feel to get 2017 North Carolina Fighter of the Year, man?
It was a little surreal. It was surreal. Joy. I got the phone call on New Year's Eve. You know what I mean? So it was already a day of celebration.
Oh yeah.
Bringing in a new revolution. I don't really celebrate many holidays, but that is the one I celebrate. So I was in celebratory mode already. And so when I got the phone call, it was just glee.
Yeah, just added on to it, right?
Yeah,
and these things.
Floating, felt like I was on a cloud.
Yeah, and it really because we were talking about, on our last episode, we were talking about Bud Crawford, how he got Fighter of the Year, and it all comes down to activity. Don't you feel that way too?
Yes, sir.
You've been pretty active this year. You've been fighting about 4 or 5 times.
I had 5 fights last year.
About 5 fights, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty good, man. But right now, as an up and coming, undefeated fighter, like, why don't you give us a little day in the life of Donnie, man? How things are going for you?
It depends on the day. It depends, if we in camp or not. But on a full-fledged day in camp, you know what I mean. I work at the gym. I work at the gym where I train at. So I normally open the gym. I might come in here at 6 a.m. My trainer Remy will come in 7 a.m., 8 a.m. We'll do our first session early. Sometimes after we train, I'll go to the track. Or some mornings I might start at the track and then come to the gym and train. I normally get right back to work. I do personal sessions here at the gym, and I also teach classes for the clients or whatever. So I might get back to work for a few hours, eat in between a little bit, but normally we'll get back to probably strength and conditioning and then running.
Oh, okay. So just letting people out there know, like, just about every hour for a fighter, you thinking about boxing, right?
Yeah, I'm
right?
horrible. Yeah.
It's not like just like a 9 to 5. Every minute it's got to be on your mind, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I relate everything to boxing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everything. People always ask me, "Oh, why are you jumping?" Why? I'm not jumping. I'm just aware.
Yeah, I'm on point.
Yeah, I'm aware. You know what I mean? I'm aware, and I'm training. Sometimes I'm just training my eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So I didn't know you was from Buffalo, New York.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been down in North Carolina?
About 2 years now.
About 2 years. What you think about that transition? Because I'm from Baltimore. It's
Right.
different.
Very different.
But it's cool.
Yeah, it's real cool, man. It's real cool. They more laid back, of course.
More laid
down
back,
here
yeah,
than where
more
we
laid
from.
back,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's love. It's all love. They embrace me down here. The head of my team right now is Paul Marinaccio. He's originally from Buffalo, New York too.
Okay.
But most of his fighting career was in North Carolina.
Yeah.
As well. So when I came down here, by me being from Buffalo, they kind of embraced me.
Nice little connection right there.
Exactly. And then he already had the North Carolina connection, so I didn't have to do as much to mesh down here, as most people would or whatever. So that was a blessing.
I mean, we were boxing.
Oh
in
yeah,
Buffalo.
yeah. My whole amateur career was back home.
Okay. So what made you come down here?
My mother.
Your mom's made you come down?
Yeah, I was on my way out west. I got kids in Georgia.
Okay.
And I had relocated back to New York. I was on a 1.5-year layoff actually at the time. I had fought my last amateur fight. My coach Ross Thompson back home, he was ready to turn me. He was like, "Man, you ready now? You ready now?" This was 2014.
Okay.
I ended up turning in 16.
Gotcha.
So 2 years before I turned, my trainer was like, "Yo, let's go. You ready now?" you got more of a professional style. I wasn't ready, but I didn't want to fight amateur no more. You know what I mean? I just didn't have that pity pat that those guys go.
Yeah.
They go.
That's a different style of fighting than the pros.
Style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It never was my style. I was always a slick, slower guy. You know what I mean? Like
more methodical.
Exactly. Like take my time and pick my shots. Or whatever. So I was on a 1.5 year layoff. I was gonna go out west. I was thinking to go to California or whatever, try to get a new spark. Boxing's so big out there.
Yeah, that's
go
the
out
mecca
there and
right
get a
there.
new spark, and I'm gonna get it on out there. So I started voicing that to my mom. She was like, "No, how about you relocate here?" She had been here for like 5-6 years.
Okay.
At that time, so now she's been here for like 7-8 years. So she's like, come down. I'm like, North Carolina.
I know, right?
Boxing.
Yeah.
I said, nah, man, that don't mesh right there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I might as well stay here.
Right,
You know what I mean? I'm in
sure.
Buffalo. You know what I mean? Might as well stay here. And I'm one of those dudes that even if my mind, I'm against it. If it's right, it's right.
If it's right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
bro.
Like I'm
It's
not
right,
that guy. Like, oh no, I'm not. So as the more and more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? That might be the right move to do. You know what I mean? And then I forgot exactly what happened, but something happened at home in my home life, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm leaving. Right. When I got on the phone with her, she was like, come on, come. Like I hadn't been around her 5 years. So you know how that is. She's like, come on, I want to be around you again. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna try it. First time I came, it didn't work.
Yeah.
I left. I came and moved here. I actually met Remy. He had just opened this gym. So I had my son with me, and of course I had just relocated, so I was trying to make it.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure things out. He needed my help here. He seen the talent I had and the boxing knowledge I had, and asked me to help him here. I tried to do it as much as I could. We wasn't really bringing in revenue like we do now, so he couldn't really afford to pay me much. So I had to end up walking away so I could take care of myself and my son.
Right.
So even in the midst of all that, I ended up in Atlanta, which is kind of like my second home. I went to high school in Atlanta. So I've been back and forth from Atlanta because my dad lives in Atlanta.
Okay.
So that's like my second home. I've been back and forth. So I went back there, and I was there for like 4 months, just playing around, still not knowing what I wanted to do. And I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual. I talk to our Creator and all that stuff. So one night I was meditating, and I was just chilling, just relaxing, and I just got a message, man. You know what I mean? Kind of the same message that I got when I found out it was time to box. I got that same message, like, yo, it's time to go back.
Right.
And I remember like, really? Like, are you know what I mean? Like, cause I know if I go back, what I'm going to, I'm not going back to amateur. If I go back, I'm going to turn pro. And I remember just getting the feeling like, you'll be okay. Just don't worry about it. It's time to go back. I had been, by this time, it was like 2 years. I had been away from boxing like 2 years. And I was like, it's time to go back. But Remy, the first time I was around him, had tried to get me back in the ring.
Okay.
He's so talented, man. Just fight. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So he popped in my mind. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to Raleigh. I'm gonna get with this dude, and we gonna chase the dream. So when I came back to Raleigh with a whole different mindset. Whatever. Came back here. He had took off. This gym, I came back, and this gym was packed out. We had 300 members, and he was like, oh my goodness, thank God you back. I need you. You know what I mean? So I stepped right in, right when he needed me. And from there, business has even expanded even more since then. But on top of that, we got on the pro tour, and 6 fights later,
Rest is history.
we 6-0, and I was North Carolina Fighter of the Year.
So you feel like this was a good move for your career?
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, what was your when you moved down here? What was like your first impression of like the boxing scene in Raleigh? Like, you didn't really think it was too like popping yet?
Well, I can't even really say impression because I was like I was an amateur that was blessed to have a lot of professional mentors, and you know what I mean. My coach basically, when I was an amateur, he tagged me along for everything. I went everywhere. Okay. So they came to North Carolina a lot for tune-up fights. So it wasn't like, was I guessing? No, I seen it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I came to a fight one time down here that was 15 fights and it was 15 knockouts. Most of them was first and second round.
Yeah, that's how I go down here sometimes.
Amazed. Like I was like, you can't be serious. You know what I mean? So that's what I was expecting when I came down here. But granted, I had met Remy. The first time I met Remy, we met I came down here on a trip to visit my mom. And did some mitt work with him in the gym. And I remember going back home like, yo, I worked with a coach that was pretty good in there. This guy knows something.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and tell me it ain't no boxing knowledge there. He knows something. You know what I mean? I only spent 2 hours with him, so I didn't get to ingest much.
Right.
I'm like, I have a boxing mind. I know somebody who knows boxing.
Right, you seen something there.
This kid knows something or whatever. So when I moved down here, it was a blessing that me and him was able to link back up. But so I think it's just like I don't know. It's just not true. You know what I mean? What they say about boxing in North Carolina is not true. You know what I mean? Now maybe, you know, for the majority it might be, but you know what I mean? Like I said, I had an interview a few days when I told him, like, if you lined up certain weight classes out of North Carolina and put them with the best prospects in the country, we can hold our own. You know what I mean? I'm talking about me, Joe Jackson, Levante Early, Beeman. If you take us out, and Beeman already knocking off some of the guys at this weight class, you know what I mean? But these are North Carolina bred fighters. Now, I'm not even North Carolina bred.
True.
So if you want to get down to the nitty gritty, you can't take me out that conversation. But even in North Carolina, and Jamar Freeman, you know what I mean? You take these guys can fucking fight, man. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, shout out to Jamar, man.
Yeah, that's my big brother right there.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
Yes, sir.
Cool guy.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
for sure, man. But so coming up for this year, 2018, what else you got lined up with your next fight?
Everything, man.
Sounds good.
Next fight that is February 23rd.
Okay.
I'm guessing that we just locked up an opponent. I want to say he's 3-1.
Okay.
We was looking at a 4-0 guy. He was fighting 168. I fight 54-60. So he wasn't really willing to come down in weight. I'm definitely not willing to go up to 68 at this point. So we moved on. So it's looking like we're going to have a 3-1 guy. I want to say he's out of Ohio, Toledo, Ohio or something like that.
Okay.
So that's a 6-round fight. After that, that'll be my 7th fight. So I want to fight maybe another 6-round fight after that, maybe 2 at max. But after that, my team is getting me ready to fight for the junior NABA title.
Okay.
Which they need me at 8 rounds for that.
That's gonna be at 154.
That's gonna be at 54.
54.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
okay.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
the weight you feel most comfortable at right now?
I'm saying 60 is cool. I can make 60 in my, just from the natural workout of boxing. You know what I mean? When I go to 54, that's when it's grind time. That's when I gotta watch the meals and you know what I mean. Even the water intake and all that stuff. That's when it's serious.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I fight for the titles and for the I'm fighting those better guys, I'm definitely want to fight at 54.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself maxing out and weight at?
I want to go to 75.
75?
I want I felt Bernard like he never fought at 68. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he did. He jumped right
That's
over
how I
that.
feel.
Yeah, right.
That's how I
Yeah.
feel. You know,
Yeah.
54, 60 for most of my career. I love middleweight, and I'll be able to make 60. Like my dad is 49 and weighs 155. You know what I mean? So that's my. I know how much I weigh.
Yeah.
I don't have weight problems. You know what I mean? So I can fight 60 my whole career if I want to, and I know that for a fact. But I'll probably stay comfortably settled in that 60. By the time the world get to know me, I'll probably be at 60 settled in, and towards the end of my career, fight at
Maybe
go to
75.
75. Yeah, I want that light heavyweight.
For sure.
Yeah, I want
For
to
sure.
that light.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. Kind of want to look back at your last fight that you had.
Yes, sir.
Your last opponent.
Yes, sir.
The thing about what we were talking about off air was a lot of fans that kind of think it's easy to just go in for the knockout. This is something we always talk about on episodes. They think when you look at a fighter's record, you can just say, "Oh, this guy's gonna be easy." You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
explain to them the grind and the mindset you gotta get in with any experienced fighter. No matter what their record is.
Just to address to my last opponent, Marcus Primavera, has been in there with everybody. Like you mentioned, he knocked out Curtis Stevens, a while back. He was even an Olympian, I want to say in '96. So just saying that alone, you have to know that this guy is experienced. This guy knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? He had over 50 fights. You know what I mean? So he knows, and he's only been stopped, I want to say 3 times in 50 fights.
Yeah.
This dude done fought some of the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And been stopped 3 times in 50 fights. Now, don't get me wrong. I went to that fight. I wanted to stop him.
Oh yeah.
The first 2 rounds, I was like, I'm gonna stop him. But the intelligence kicked in. Like, okay, he's playing me. First of all, he's playing me.
Yeah.
I'm not even really hitting nothing.
He baiting you in.
You know what I mean? He baiting me in. He want to get me tired. You know what I mean? So the intelligence kicked in, and then also Paul Marinaccio in my corner told me, like, lighten up, box a little bit more. And that kind of woke me up even more. So, okay, let me put them together. And then the fight kind of came to me after that. But anyway, I'm saying all to say, if you give me like, people look at the records, like you said, but don't understand. Like, if you give me a 5-0 guy that ain't been through nothing, you like, oh, well, he's better. Yeah, but he ain't been through nothing. So the way I touch him, like the way I was touching Marcos, most guys would have crumbled from the body shots. A 5-0 guy, I'll crumble him from that
But
body
that guy
shot.
being experienced, he was able
This
to
experienced
deal with
guy,
that.
he can deal with that.
Yeah.
People not seeing that
The numbers don't tell everything all the time.
at all. Numbers tell nothing. Numbers tell nothing. You know what I mean? Only thing that to me is knockouts. Now, if you've been knocked out a bunch of times, then I know I'm gonna knock your ass.
Something about that chin, man. Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock you. If you've been knocked out, I'm gonna knock you out.
It's kind of like looking at, remember Emmanuel Augustus? Like, he's a tough guy, tough competitor.
Yeah.
He gave Floyd hell, you know.
Right.
That one fight,
Floyd said that was one of his hardest
fights.
Yeah, he bloodied his nose, and you know, when you look at his record, it's the same way. He might go the distance, but he wasn't a guy that you was just going to count out. You know?
I mean, Glenn Johnson. There's a lot of guys out there that has a lot of losses on their records, but you can't go on that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't go by that. A lot of Glenn Johnson losses was robberies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
and then you got to look at the guys they're losing to. You know what I mean? You can't say, oh, well, he got 5 losses, or I'm gonna beat him. Yeah, but he lost to the cream of the crop.
Yeah, the best fighters in the world.
Okay.
That makes a difference.
You know what I mean?
That makes a difference. Makes a difference.
Make it different. Real fighters may catch losses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Real fighters catch losses.
Me and Ant talk about that all the time. How guys they're posturing and not one. Dude, it's boxing. Somebody has to lose. Somebody has to win. It's not the end of your career. If you a loss can be good for you, depending on how you lose. So I just want the guys to get in there and mash it up and see, let the cream rise to the top. You know what I mean? So that's just the way it goes. Somebody has to lose. Somebody has to win. You know.
Because going back to that fight, when we were watching it, it was like, this dude is taking serious body shots. You know, I could see the red on his waist, and I was like, then I saw that certain stance he had. I was like, this guy's experienced. He's gonna try to bait him. But then we saw he was like, you know, Donnie's just taking his time. He's just trying to work, and you know,
he made me. I couldn't find nothing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't find. The only thing I could find was that right hook to the body. You know what I mean? So in the corner, we was like, the corner said, just go with it till you can't. But I don't know if anybody noticed the second round, I stopped going to the body because the ref came in the corner. They complained to the ref, so the ref came in the corner like, yo, you gotta stop hitting him around. He said I was hitting him kind of in the back, which to be honest, first round I was, because that's the only thing I seen, so I took what I seen. But at the third round, the ref came back.
Yeah.
He said, man, if that's all he giving you, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, if that's all he space.
You know what I mean? So I went right back or whatever. But I couldn't find him, and that defense was a motherfucker.
He had like that weird lean
turtle shell, man. But I was telling Remy the
yeah.
other day, we always play around when I'm on mitts. You know, I got excellent defense. That's something I feel is underrated about my style right now. But I rarely get hit. So while we on the mitts, a lot of times he like to see if he can hit me. You know, he like to try to see if he can sneak one in, and I'm not letting him sneak him in. And you know, the longer the more I'm progressing, the less he getting in.
Yeah.
So before he used to sneak a little shady little uppercut in that he liked to do. You know, not a real blow, just a tiny scoring blow, but I could never do nothing with it. But after seeing Marco's defense, I picked up something. You know what I mean? My defense got that much better from watching his defense. You know what I mean? So it was a blessing being there with him. I learned a lot.
Oh, definitely.
I learned a lot.
That's my thing.
Those 6 rounds.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like when you're in there with somebody that has that many fights, whether they are wins or losses, you really learn from them. I mean, whenever I see a guy with that record, he fought somebody with that many fights, I'll say, yeah, he's getting more experience from this. You know,
Exactly.
He's getting more experience.
Because I know myself. Like, man, if you would have gave me a certain guy at 4 or 5-0 and everybody amped because it's 2 undefeated, I'd have crumbled his ass. I'd have crumbled him. You know what I mean?
Another thing too, Donnie, that me and Ant pointed out that night, man, that we want to commend you on is coming in to the ring and looking the part. You shredded that night, bro.
Yes, sir.
You shredded
Thank
that
you,
night,
man.
but I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was his first impression, because you know,
as a fan, when we go and pay to see somebody, we want to see somebody look the part. I don't want to really see a dude just flabby. I'm no disrespect, but I'm just saying.
No,
I mean,
right.
if you say you're a fighter, look the part. You know, and when you came in, that's my man shredded it. I mean, muscles don't mean nothing. I mean, you go in the fight,
but
like
a young Hopkins.
It's part of the presentation.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
I do want commend you on that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's one thing. You know, this program that we have here. You know, we have, I want to say, over 350 members. Okay, let me back up. First of all, one of my first amateur coaches, Puerto Rican guy named Jerry out of Buffalo, New York. Shout out to him. I remember him talking about Errol Spence. I was young. Matter of fact, Errol Spence, I want to say probably was only like 3-4-0 at this time. And we was talking about Errol Spence. We was comparing him to my guy Vincent Arroyo, who's retired now, whatever. So I remember him telling me that, okay, Vince won't beat Spence, not because of talent, because Errol Spence comes from a program. He comes from a good program. And I remember not fully understanding what he meant.
Gotcha.
I didn't get it. until I came here.
Yeah.
Like my coach, Remy Full, like he has a program here. And if you come in these doors, you're gonna follow it or you can get out.
Right.
That's the bottom line. We have a program here. It's ABC, bim, and we give the same program to our clients. We got 350 members, maybe a team of 10 fighters. Then we got 3 pros, 7 amateurs. Okay. So we got 340 members that don't even get in the ring. You know what I mean? They come here and we whoop their ass into shape. You know, we got lawyers, doctors, we got the cream of the crop in Raleigh, North Carolina, come here to work out. Whatever. You know what I mean? So the conditioning program that we have here is second to none, because that's what Remy does. He's a sports science guy. Okay. You know what I mean? It's a blessing he has boxing knowledge, but to the core, he's a sports science guy. Mm-hmm. So the conditioning that we get here is second to none. I went to train with Andre Rozier, Danny Jacobs' coach in New York City last year, and he has a great strength and conditioning coach. But it was funny because I'm like, okay, as far as coaches in the camp, you don't go no higher than this. This is it. I'm at the top level right now. But his strength and conditioning coach was good, but Remy better. You know what I mean? Like he's just a little bit better. I feel his program is a little bit more intense.
Is it the chemistry with the guys, or it's just the program is better? You know, because I know sometimes. The chemistry.
I'm gonna be honest. And I'm not saying that their program was killer. Don't get me. I learned a lot, and their strength and conditioning was wonderful. And it's it would trip me out that it was so similar to Remy's. Okay. But Remy is an evil genius with that strength and conditioning shit. So he'll go somewhere where most people won't think to go. He goes there and don't care. He'll look at you with a stale face I don't care you've been working out 2 hours. Do what I asked you to do. You know what I mean?
That's kind of what we talked about before, having a relationship. Like you said, one strength and conditioning coach might have a textbook way of doing it for everybody, but does he just have more a special way for each person?
That's the thing I like about him. He grows with me. If I go away to camp and I catch a trick, he wants to know that trick so he can incorporate that.
Yeah. He ain't hating on you oh man, I ain't teach you that. I ain't teach you that.
Right, we ain't running that. He no, what you learn? Okay, they should. But then he elaborates off that, so he might come back a week later getting better off the shit I learned. You know what I mean? He do the same thing with strength and conditioning. It's I see him pondering one day. He's okay, we gonna add this onto. It's who thinks of that, Remy? Really?
But we always talk about the science aspect of the sport. It's called the sweet science, but it's a lot of scientific stuff to boxing that people don't look at and don't really realize. Like you say, the strength and conditioning, that's science.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's science. Yeah. So it's a lot going on in the ring besides people just throwing punches, man. You know, a lot of people just think it's just
way more.
Hopping at the ropes and throwing punches.
If you think that, then y'all gotta watch me fight. You know what I mean? I'm one of the most intelligent fighters you're gonna see, man.
Man. Kind of going into this topic, since you bring up Remy, how important is it for you, for a trainer and a fighter, to have more than just the inside the ring relationship? How important is it?
Everything.
Outside?
I couldn't even I'm co-trained. I don't know if y'all know, but Remy is the second. I'm still with Ross Thompson, who started me out. That was my amateur coach. I never left him. I just moved away.
Right.
Found Remy, meshed up. Was kind of worried that they wasn't gonna mesh. They meshed perfect, so it's all been perfect. Sweet. So I'm co-trained. Only person I seen on that top level do that is Terrence Crawford. Right. Terrence Crawford has 2 trainers, so that's how I am. Ross normally comes down about 2 weeks before a fight camp or whatever, and we spend the last 2 weeks getting sharpened up, and of course he works the corner. But meanwhile, we tape sparring and send him sparring, and we get his input.
Gotcha.
He fought Fernando Vargas for the title back in 2000. Okay. So that's the real boxing mind of our team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's I'm that's my boxing dad. You know what I mean? That's the first time I said that out loud.
When you said that, I was just about to say the respect in the relationship as far as, you got some guys, boxers, they're the boss. Mm-hmm. They calling the shots.
Right, but they're going to crash and burn.
Yeah, they're going to crash and burn. You have to have that teacher-student mentality,
I agree.
Behind it. And that's just, something I see, how the way you talk about Remy, I kind of see that rapport, with you guys or whatever.
Of course.
I think that's important.
Yeah,
you are the boss, but you have to humble yourself and not be the boss. You know what I'm saying?
You have to. My thing is when you go, I don't feel like I'm going to the ring by myself. You know what I mean? People think
even though you don't feel like that.
I don't feel like that. Okay. You know what I mean? My guys is right there. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I can hear them. They if you they tell you like sometimes things I'm doing, they yelling that shit out.
Yeah.
And Remy like to say, he like, yo, it's crazy because it's like I got you on a string sometimes.
So
It's like a
Like,
video
as soon as
game.
you yell it out,
right?
as soon as you yell it out,
Yeah.
I do it because I hear you. We in tune.
So
Yeah.
do you
know what
hear
I mean?
the crowd, or you
I
just
hear
hear
it.
you just hear
I-
your corner?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I hear it. I'm like Floyd. Like Floyd, turn around and be talking to them announcers. I'm
Man.
one of them guys.
Oh my God.
I hear everything. You know what I mean? I'm here. I'm very aware. You know what I mean? Like even in here, I tripped them out. And sometimes I'm just messing with the guys and stuff. But I have conversations with Remy while I'm sparring, hard sparring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can have a conversation with Remy. Like the other day, he was talking to me. Oh, do this, do that. I'm like, Remy, I can't hear you. You need to speak up. Do this, do this. Okay, I got you. All right, I got you now. You know what I mean? I can talk to them. I can pay attention with you. I hear everything, man, and see everything. You know what I mean?
That's a gift.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
crazy.
yeah.
Crazy. I
Yeah.
can't explain it, but sometimes
Yeah,
I
that's
make
what I
a
was about
guy.
to say. What do you call
sometimes
that?
I make
Yeah.
a guy miss 5-6 punches. I was watching some of my sparring the other day, and we got a new pro here named Allen. I don't know his last name, but he's a 1-1. He's 168, but he's a damn good fighter. He reminds me of Paul Williams, tall, lanky cat.
okay.
Just keep coming. But I was watching our sparring the other day. He threw about a 10-punch combination. I made him miss every single punch right in front of him. No foot movement, all head movement. I don't know how I did it. It just happened. I couldn't tell you.
He said no
Then
foot
when
movement.
Yeah, right in front of you.
Hey,
you know
that's
what I mean?
that's called the Matrix right there,
Yeah,
man.
that's Matrix, exactly.
That's the
Yeah.
real Matrix.
I actually picked up the phone and called my camera guy, because me and him gonna sit down and do some editing. So I'm gonna put out a nice highlight film, because I told him, I said, there's so much stuff that I do that people can't see. The naked eye can't see
You
a
gotta
lot
bring
of
it
the
to the
good
light.
shit that I
You
do.
gotta bring it to the
You
light,
know what I
brother.
mean? So I want him
Bring
to
it to
like
the
do
light.
some slow motion stuff,
Yeah.
so you can see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Some
love
of
the
stuff
slow
that I
motion
do.
videos, dude, because I mean, you watch your Floyd Mayweather in slow motion, even the Triple G in slow motion. You see things that is gonna blow your
Exactly.
mind. You don't
Exactly.
the things that they're doing that you can't
Exactly.
see
You
at
can't
normal
see.
speed. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? I mean,
and the
it's
main
amazing.
thing for me that I figured, I was like, you can't, is feints.
Feints,
Like
yeah.
when you're watching a professional fight, you never see it. It always seems like they going right to the point. But if you slow it up and you can really watch, those guys is fainting,
Like a mug.
doing all types of small stuff
Yeah.
that you can't. But it's so fast. You know what I mean? It's so
Right.
fast.
Right.
That
Right.
was
I mean?
that's something we always talk about. Like sometimes if you really want to learn, sometimes I tell them I turn the sound off. You know, when I watch a fight, turn the sound off.
You really
Or-
got to,
yeah,
man.
you know.
Can't listen to the commentators, man.
Or you know, I try to watch the feet. You know, sometimes I just watch a whole fight where I watch, the fighter's feet. Or watching in slow motion. So I think that's a good idea.
Yes,
you know?
sir. Yes, sir.
definitely.
I mean, and some stuff is so fast that, dude, the only way you can really see it is to slow it down. Some of the stuff that
Yeah.
these guys are, and I mean, especially Floyd Mayweather, I mean, he's thinking so much that that's the only way you can see what he's doing to slow it down.
Awesome
It really
fighter.
is, dude.
Right.
I mean,
Awesome fighter. Awesome fighter. I'm a James Tony guy though, man. That's
Yeah,
the type
James
of defense
Tony,
I
yeah.
like.
I love
I mean,
James
that's
Tony,
why
yeah.
my motto, my
Oh,
style.
James,
A
yeah.
little bit more flat-footed than Floyd. You know what I mean? But more confident in your head movement. And
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Staying
Another great
in
defensive
there.
fighter.
Love,
Yeah.
love
Another
it.
great
Love
defensive
James Tony.
fighter.
Man. I watch
Absolutely.
James Tony all day.
Yeah, I love that flat-footed in the pocket style because there's longevity in it. You know, it's like if your speed goes, you can always be
Exactly.
in the inside and just
Exactly.
be able to
Exactly.
always, preserve energy.
Exactly.
Just fight. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that's the main thing that people don't realize that it does, is that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing. I'm preserving energy. People don't realize it. I'm preserving a lot of energy like that. And you also make guys nervous and uncomfortable because you just right here.
You're right there.
They're
in that
not used to
range,
that.
yeah.
Even if you hit me and we exchange, I don't have to go nowhere. I'm comfortable being right here.
there.
And I noticed that over time, guys, like, what the fuck, he's still here.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's still here.
That mental aspect
Yeah,
of the game.
mental pressure.
The
exactly.
mental aspect of the game.
And that's part of my game too. Just making a guy not want to punch and wondering why the hell is he still here? Why is he still in front of me?
Right. That's another thing we talk about, man. It's a lot of mental. It's a big mental part to the
yeah,
game
for
too,
sure.
man.
The game is
90% mental is what they say.
Because like I told you, Ross wanted to turn me pro in 14. Like it wasn't that I didn't have the skills. Mentally,
Mentally,
I
you
wasn't
wasn't
prepared.
ready.
Part,
Right.
yeah.
Could have got in there and not been confident enough and got beat up by a guy who I demolished today.
Dude,
You
like,
know what I mean?
you go back to Mike Tyson. He said before his fights he was crying like some of his earlier fights. I mean, people wouldn't
That's real
believe that,
talk,
but that's
it's real,
100.
man.
This
Yeah.
big 200-pound killer was crying. I mean, stuff like that will blow you away though if you don't know it. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody would ever imagine this dude is crying.
A lot of stuff
scared.
going on in them locker rooms
Yeah.
that people don't know.
For sure.
A lot of stuff going on in locker rooms, man.
Oh yeah, man. But jumping back up to 2018, man. So
Yes, sir.
what's your whole goal for this year, man? Like,
My goal this year, man, is by the end of the year, I would love to be locked into a promotional contract and have one of those regional titles. Like I said, that junior NABA, NABO, whatever one it end up being. So that's my goal for 2018.
Okay, that sounds good. So you told me this Friday you got to leave for Alabama. Was that for sparring?
Well, I was actually supposed to be taking I have a young amateur that I train named Brian Lopez. We've been together for about 2 years. Young kid, 17. He got about 5 fights. But I was taking him to the Paul Murphy national tournament, Mobile, Alabama. But he actually caught an injury this weekend, so we won't be going out there. That we had to cancel that. That was a little bummer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I got he's the only amateur I officially train. But like I said, we got about 5 or 6 other amateurs here that I deal with, that I co-train with Remy. You know what I mean? He's their main trainer. I help out, whatever. But Brian is my guy. That's the only guy that I got this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, that's something that we always talk about on the show. We always say, boxing is life. Like, how does it help you throughout your day? Just since you've been fighting, how does it help you get through a day, just a regular day outside of regular fighting?
I couldn't even I don't know. I couldn't pinpoint one way. It helped me out in so many different ways. You know what I mean? Even mental strength. Getting the job, learning how to get the job done. You know what I mean? Like not quitting and that could even just be scheduling. I could have 4 appointments. You know how that is. You just like, hell no, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? And I was always a dude that was like, well, fuck it, I'll cancel it. I won't, but boxing and certain things in boxing has helped me structure my mind and just go through, finish it. I always finish what I start. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Of course, physical fitness. You know what I mean? I can pretty much do anything in life because I'm so strong and sturdy. Whatever. One-on-one interaction, I'm more comfortable. I don't know if I can really say. We're just having to work in the boxing gym, in the type of boxing gym I work in. You know what I mean? And being one-on-one with my clients and stuff like that, I got so much better with one-on-one interaction. You know what I mean? I'm kind of an introvert.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of an introvert, so it wasn't an easy transition, but Remy helped me out and groomed me to be to where I'm at now. You know, in this business. So that's probably the biggest thing I can honestly say. Like, you know what I mean? One-on-one interaction after dealing with clients for the last 2 years, like I can lock eyes and have one, even with whether it's
comfortable with that.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with a one-on-one conversation.
I know you said you did some sparring with Caleb.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What was that like?
Man, you know what that was like, man. That was some of the hardest work I had, man.
That's the hardest work you had.
Some of the hardest work I've had. I had a lot of hard work. I worked with a lot of hard guys last year, man. I got to give me a chance to read off their names, but Caleb Plant, man, was just tricky, man. I had never seen he got tricks. You know what I mean? Shout out to Caleb, man.
Shout out to Caleb,
that's
man.
my boy right there. And his trainer Justin Gambier. I actually talked with Caleb last night. We was texting back and forth for a hot second because he just got he just locked up his date to fight. Was it Porky Medina?
Okay.
He fighting him on the Devin Alexander
undercard and Ortiz
undercard.
Okay.
So I'm shooting to Vegas the beginning of February for 2 weeks. So we were trying to see if we can sync up. If I'm gonna catch him.
Yeah.
Because he'll probably be quitting. Stopping sparring probably that next week after I come in. But what me and him was discussing was the style. He's like, if you come in, I'm gonna need you to fight exactly like Porky. You know what I mean? I got more of a crafty style, so he was asking me would that be a problem for me to come in and fight like Porky. I'm like, nah. I know it would be hard. To fight a guy on that level and have to stay rigid one style. It's gonna be very hard. But of course, to help him out and
it's
to
helping
get
him
the
out.
experience,
Yeah.
of course I would do it. It was fun though. We worked 3 times. We worked 3 times when I met. It was all love. You'd be surprised the guys on his level who don't want hard sparring. You know what I mean? Like a lot of guys,
they don't want to be tested.
They don't want to be tested in the gym. They like to play it around with amateurs. I've seen experience. I ain't gonna give out no names, but I've seen a lot of high-ranking pros. Like, why are you inspiring with them?
I mean, they got guys in there that they're beating up, and how much work is that?
Exactly.
How is that really helping you?
Exactly.
You know.
So that's a mode that Caleb was in when I came in. He was getting too much easy work from what I took. And Lou, the guy who I deal with over at Johnny Toko's, he was like, yo, Caleb needs some good work. I told him you just came in town, like he want to meet you and see if you can work. So we worked once, and I give good work. I don't care who you are, like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna give good work. So he loved the work and asked me to come back. You know what I mean? So I came back and we worked again. So
I mean, it is a lot of camaraderie and brotherhood
for sure
in the game too. People think it's just nobody but these guys behind the scenes, they're helping other guys out.
We have to. We have to. Iron sharpens iron
all day long,
iron
brother.
Sharpen iron, and Like I just that 1 week with him alone, like people don't
I
understand.
know, dude. I feel it.
Oh
The
my
energy from
goodness,
you,
know
like,
what I
man,
mean?
that was
Like,
good stuff.
Like I picked up so much from this dude, you know, in those few little sparring sessions.
And when you can be a
I'm so
sponge
excited.
and absorb that stuff, you know,
Exactly.
know when to be able to be a sponge and just don't say nothing and shut up and listen and take it in. You know?
Exactly. And it's funny you said that because some of my sparring, like if you spar too hard, you can't soak it in. You know what I mean? If I go out there fighting for my life, it's a fight. You can't fully grasp it. So when I spar guys like that, a lot of times I catch myself sparring slower because it's because I am trying to ingest what's going on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So a lot of times, like, I remember coming back and guys watching my sparring like, man, well, you go a lot higher than I'm like, well, I can't do that right now because I'm learning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, type shit. So, you know, that ingesting is real. But I sparred with a lot of good guys last year. You know, Caleb Plant, I spent time in New York City, like I told you, with Andre Rozier. And I got to work with Dervinchenko. I don't know if you heard of Dervinchenko, who's Triple G's #1 mandatory right now. I got a chance to work with him.
I mean,
I spent 2 weeks with him.
What did you think about him?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Beast or
Is he a beast like they say?
He's a
Power?
fucking beast.
Yeah.
I mean,
the world
so
got a new-
Triple G got to worry about something?
That's a good fight.
That's
man.
my guy right there, Triple G. That's what I'm asking.
That's a
my
good
guy.
fight.
Yeah, 'cause
That's
I
a
saw
good
one of
fucking
his
fight.
fights, Thursday night fights. That dude looks
Dervinchenko's a beast.
Yeah.
He's a lot more craftier than Triple G is.
Okay.
You know, like he got tricks. Like even though he's a pressure fighter, just like Triple G, you know, they both come from that same background, Russia. I forgot
European, whatever it is.
exactly where they come from.
Kazakhstan.
Right,
Yeah.
they come from that same background. They got similar styles, but dude cut angles.
Right. And see, and that's one good thing about Triple G too. People think that he's just pressure. I mean, this dude is doing a lot in the ring.
No, he do a lot.
He's cutting off
He
the
do a
ring.
lot.
I
He
mean,
got
he's
great
doing
feet. He got great feet.
is
He
a
do
great
lot.
boxer.
He do a
You know
lot.
what I'm
He
saying?
is. Great
You
boxer.
know?
Great boxer. To be honest, I might have to go. I might have to go with Triple G in that fight, just off experience. And,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know if
No
that's just
momentum behind him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think on the pro level, Dervinchenko definitely need some more experience. You know what I mean? He got 11 fights. You know, on the pro level, he had 400 amateur fights, 420 matter of fact.
Crazy.
He had 300. He was 309, 410. He was 390 and 20. When they say he told me, so he had 410. So the dude can fight. You know what I mean? But pro level, that's 3-round
It's
level.
different on the big stage though, right? Under the bright lights and all of that
Very
stuff.
different. Guys' bodies are different. You know what I mean? It's very different. Guys
Judging
are
is
punching
different, scoring is different.
And it's just the rounds. I don't care if you have 400 fights at 3 rounds. You got to come to 12 rounds, baby. Like, that's a big difference.
And,
you know what I mean?
and dude, like for people who don't box, try to do 1 3-minute.
they don't
It's
understand.
dude.
They
So
don't
when you see a guy
understand. They don't
do
understand.
10, 12, and the throwbacks doing 15 3-minute round, I mean, it's the conditioning is
that shit ain't no shit.
the boxer is the most conditioned athlete out to me. It's
Yeah.
no other football, basketball, nothing else
Right.
is more conditioned
I
than
agree.
the boxer, man.
Because we swim, we do all that
You,
stuff. Y'all do
you
too.
guys do run,
Yeah,
swim,
we do
everything that
y'all
those
do
guys
too. And
do.
then we still have to
You guys
fully do our sport too.
And then you got to throw hands and do,
exactly.
you know, so.
Exactly. Like my guy Lionel Thompson, shout out to him, one of my mentors. He swim 50 laps a day. You know what I mean? But that don't have nothing to do with his strength and conditioning for boxing and his boxing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Good
So,
cardio. It's
yeah.
good all around workout, but like you say, you still
Right.
got to do other stuff. Swimming ain't going
Right.
to win a fight for you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Boxing, man, it's
Exactly.
like the Marines of the sport. You know, they do everything, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, we still got about 30 minutes. Let's talk a little bit about boxing today, man. You know, I asked you earlier, man. One of the last big fights of December 2017, Seal Lomachenko versus Guillermo Rigondeaux. What was your thoughts on that fight, man?
It just was weird, man.
Yeah.
It just felt like something wasn't right, you know.
Yeah.
I felt kind of like what Bruh said earlier. I don't think that a fighter. We've never seen a fighter on that level go out like
Go
that.
out like
man.
that, dude.
It was kind of weird. It was kind of weird. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel with the circumstances, a lot of people don't know that they stripped him of his title. If he lost, he got stripped of his title, and that's the first time that's ever been done.
At a different weight class.
different
Not
weight
the weight class you
Two
fought
weight
at.
classes
Two weight
below.
classes.
Damn.
That's the first time that's
Never
ever
heard
been
of that.
done. On top of the fact that Lomachenko got 1.2, he got 400 grand. Like you said, he was the name. He's been around the longest. You know, he had to move up 2 weight classes just to get that payday, because that was the highest payday of his career.
Right.
It's a lot of mental stuff that could have broke him down. He might have not wanted to be in there. It's a lot of things that could have happened, man. But it was so funny. I think people were so hyped on Lomachenko. Lomachenko is like, Lomachenko is a great fighter. I'm not taking that away.
But when we say we need to see more out of him, we need to see more out of him.
There's no way that
after
he should
2018
be as the number 1 pound for pound fighter.
Come on,
that's ridiculous.
That's disrespectful.
That man is very, 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 very fucking talented, but he's not the number 1 pound for
How
pound fighter.
insulting was that when ESPN you had him as number 1, then you had Andre Ward and Terrence Crawford as number 2 and 3.
Crazy as
That was
hell.
that
And I'm
was
gonna be honest, like me, I'm a Canelo fan.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Canelo
I'm a
fan.
Canelo
I feel
fan
that
too.
Canelo
Yeah.
is the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world. I know you're a Triple G guy.
Yeah, he's a Triple
Trump,
G
right? Like,
too.
man, I feel like he's the number 1 pound for pound fighter
Yeah.
in the world, because his only loss came to the cream.
Yeah, to
you
the
know
best
what I
fighter in
mean?
the
At
world.
22.
Yeah.
To me, that's an excuse loss.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
mean, it is.
When
It
you-
is.
when you look at his
Anything after
resume,
that man has improved.
everybody on his resume was
It's gaudy.
nothing less than a beat.
You know what I mean?
Everybody
Like,
was
and
a-
it's like
yeah.
nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the Ring magazine, Pound for Pound, the other day, and Kovalev was in front of Canelo.
No, man.
Kovalev is 4, Canelo is 5.
No.
Come on, Ring. Come on, y'all. Like, what are we doing here?
People
Like,
gotta remember Canelo. His amateur background was fighting at 15. Wasn't he like 15 or 17? He started fighting. Like majority of his
14.
Yeah, it was like
14, because he turned pro at 15.
Yeah, he's beating grown men at 15. So he was building his resume as a professional. So I was like, people ignore Canelo, but Canelo,
It's 2 fights that I don't understand. People don't talk about. Kirkland. Kirkland was a fucking beast. Nobody ever talks about the fact that Canelo dismantled him basically with his eyes closed. That was easy work for Canelo.
Yeah.
Nobody ever talks about it because he made the boogeyman look normal. You know what I mean? Because bro was knocking people out senseless. You know what I mean?
He was.
He made fam look normal. We have never heard any real talk about him since. But we forgot about that. Same thing about Angulo. Angulo was a beast. He made Angulo look like a bum.
Yeah.
He did Angulo dirty. Dirty. Canelo was still young in that Angulo fight too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we still watching him progress. He knocked out Khan. He beat Cotto in a damn good fight. I don't care what anybody say. Cotto is always gonna
Cotto's
be a
always
threat.
a good-
You know what I
yes,
mean?
he's
Like
always a threat,
this
man.
dude
Yeah.
has some of the gaudiest wins in the game, and it's like they not
Yeah.
giving him his just due. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he definitely deserves to be 1 or 2.
My debate with Canelo kind of is it's the high road and the low road. You got some guys that got to work for everything they get, and then you got some guys who kind of got
Given.
this golden arc. Canelo, like we said, we can't take nothing from him. The dude, professional 14, the things he has accomplished in his career, but he's definitely had a higher arc.
You know,
Then-
at one time I felt a post popped up from about 3 years ago. You know how you get on Facebook, you get your old post, and I was calling them a pampered boxer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I seen that at one time. I agree. At one time he was, but
And a boxer, that's not really his fault. You can't help how the promotion promotes you. You know what I mean?
I won't be honest, because like around here, like I think sometimes that's how some people like look at me with my team, because you can't just talk to me. You can't call me for a fight. Like, I got a good team. It's not my fault that I have a machine.
Right.
You know what I mean? I
Right.
do have a machine around.
yeah.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's gonna get me to where I need to get me to.
Exactly.
So I don't know if a guy ever think, they turned down the fight because I'm scared, man. Please, I'll fight you bare knuckle in the parking lot. You know what I mean?
All
I
day.
come from the third world city in the country.
That's where we come
I
from,
don't
cuz,
care.
you know, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but my team said no, so it's no. Like, what do you want me to do?
Right.
You know what I mean? And the guys like Canelo go through that all the fucking time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure he been with a fought Triple G.
A monster team,
I'm
dude.
sure he been with a fought Triple G. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to take stuff like that
But
In
having,
consideration, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
for
but
sure.
having that team around
say
you, that's kind of a good thing, because I mean that way ain't nobody gonna keep kind of rush you into something.
Exactly.
Because it's still a business. You know,
Exactly.
they don't just say, hey, get in here and just fight.
Exactly.
Everybody got to make their money. You know?
Exactly.
It's still a business.
Exactly.
I mean, I think it's an advantage and a disadvantage. I mean, if you got a team around you, I mean, because some people just want you to make the most money.
That's what I said. You got to have the right team.
Yeah, you gotta have the right team. You know, you gotta have the
team.
right team making you the right money with the right fights, not just easy fights or some. You know, it's about having the right team.
That's a science too.
It's a science. The
It's
right
a science
team.
about moving a fighter
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
a science to it, man.
So-
And I was blessed to have my trainer Ross Thompson to be my first mentor, because in the amateurs, I sat up under him like a kid, watching and listening
Suck
to his
it in.
stories and the way I heard him wanting to move his pros and phone calls he's making. You know what I mean? So sometimes people don't understand. Like I know how I want to be moved and how I'm supposed to be moved. For you even open your mouth.
For you, because you've been
You know what I
peeping
mean?
game.
So you can't even, don't even. First of all, my team gonna block the bullshit anyway.
Right.
But if that shit ever get to me, like, man, I'm so sharp. Like, man, that shit ain't flying here. You know what I mean? I was very, very well schooled on the business of boxing.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
A blessing.
So this upcoming fight, man, a couple weeks between Lamont Peterson and Errol Spence, man. How you think that fight's gonna turn out?
That's a good question, man. I don't know. That's a fight I wouldn't bet on. I definitely wouldn't try to make a prediction on because not Spence, but Peterson can do everything.
He can do everything.
So it's like what
thing,
Peterson is coming.
Which Peterson is going to show up to fight that night? Is he going to be the boxer?
The one that fought Danny, who danced around the ring pretty all night.
Beautifully.
Boxed very beautifully. I felt he beat Danny Garcia.
I
felt that was a robbery.
The Lucas Matisse
exactly
trying to fight in the pocket
exactly,
and get knocked out.
Because the Bull can fucking fight, though. You know what I mean? The Bull got some body shots. You know, at one time I felt he was one of the best body punchers in the game.
I still rank him up there, man.
So we ain't seen nobody like even Carol Brook is a good fighter, but he's not I want to hurt you fighter. I'm not gonna dig to your body.
Errol Spence has never danced with nobody like this.
Exactly.
He's never had.
So
a
I'm excited,
like
but
this.
I don't. I am Errol Spence. Like that's my style. Besides my style was James Toney and Errol Spence combined. You know what I mean? So I love the guy. You know what I mean? I'm a huge Errol Spence fan. I'm a huge Derrick James fan. I love that whole camp, everything they doing down there. But so I'm definitely picking Spence. But I just don't know how.
It's a tough fight, man. It's an interesting fight.
Yeah, it
man.
definitely should be a good fight. Spence. To me, this is his real coming out party. If he win this and win this in fashion,
for sure.
To me, he should crack into the top 5 or at least the top 10. I don't know if he's in the top 10 yet.
Probably depending on what list you look at. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what list you look at.
He should definitely crack into the top 10 pound if he win this fight because Peterson's been around a long time.
He's
fought every fucking
He's fought everybody.
Every fucking body.
He's got losses. He bounced back from losses.
It's gonna be a great fight. I know it's gonna be a very entertaining fight.
It's probably gonna be one of the most interesting fights of 2018.
Yes, sir.
Because we're gonna be able to judge stuff after this fight. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be able to say, okay, well, this guy's going to the left. This guy's going. We're gonna be able to make a clear cut decision.
I'm gonna be honest about Errol Spence though, man, and I can only speak it because I got it, and I'm telling you, I got it. I got it. I was born with it. I got it. Like that. Like he's a fighter. It's like it doesn't matter. It's nothing you can do about what he's doing to people. It's nothing you can do. You can't hit him and stop that train. You can't. He's gonna keep coming.
He reminds you of a throwback fighter.
For real. It's nothing.
Throwback fighter.
That momentum, that force of nature is what I like to use.
Yeah.
He's a force of nature. That force coming at you is nothing you can do. And I got that same shit in me. Once I get a full head of steam, once I'm warmed up, once I've been hit a few times, bro, you might as well can it. Hang it up. You know what I mean? Hang it up when I'm coming. You know what I mean? And it's when I see him, like I told my coach one time, like I'm honest dude. That's just who I am. Like one of the only threats I see is like, what the fuck would I do with him if I had to fight this dude?
Right.
I'm always digesting and picking apart dudes. I see wins in a lot of the top guys. So y'all easy work. Now I know certain things I need to change. By the time I get there, you're easy
be
work.
good. Yeah.
When I look at Spence, I be like, God damn.
You don't see it.
What the fuck is we gonna do with this dude? You know what I mean?
Because you might have to cross that bridge in the future. We don't know.
That million, 2 million, I'm gonna cross it. Let's cross it. You know what I mean? Shit, let's cross it for sure.
Yeah.
With it.
But shoot, we got to wrap it up a little bit early, man. In closing, man, is there anything you want to tell everybody, tell your fans?
Y'all just come follow me on Instagram. It's dangerous_Donnie, dangerous_Donnie, and I'm on Facebook as just Donnie Marshall. So y'all show me some love, man. You know what I mean? Like, share everything. You know. Definitely. Send me some friend requests, some follow requests, and all that stuff. You know, I need all the support I can get. You know what I mean? It's a new topic we've been on in the boxing world, but black fighters, man, we need all the support we can get. You know what I mean? Like, and that's real talk that a lot of people don't talk about. You know, we are the least promoted fighters
I mean, we
on
think
the
about
planet.
somebody like a Floyd Mayweather who doesn't really get the love from his people. You know, Deontay Wilder. You know, we look at guys like AJ overseas, Billy Joe. These stars already. Stars.
Yeah.
We don't really support one another
Yeah,
like
look
that.
at Andre
and that's a
Ward.
big
Look
thing.
how long it took Andre Ward to get a half decent.
And they
payday.
still don't give.
And
They still don't give him his respect, man. They still don't give that brother his respect.
But then you get a guy like Canelo, and I think sometimes that's why he was able to be pampered. He got a whole country behind him.
And that's what I'm
On a
saying.
bad day.
That high art,
We got
you know,
a country
it's-
behind him. You know what I mean? We don't have that.
We don't have it.
No.
So we kind of in limbo. You know what I
Limbo.
mean? And then also in the U.S., boxing is the fifth sport, I want to say.
Yeah.
Fifth sport.
Over there, it's
so
only
on top
soccer.
of us being in limbo, half of the black community like, well, I don't really deal with boxing anyway. You know, I know somebody who do a podcast and kind of an interviewing platform out of Buffalo, New York. I ain't gonna say no names, but I remember somebody asked her to do an interview with me, and I'm out of Buffalo, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not interviewing no fighters." She's like,
Man, see, that's
you know what I mean? Like I'm an athlete. Like I'm equivalent to an NBA player. I'm equivalent to you know what I mean? Like what are you talking about? I'm a professional athlete. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's one thing we want to bring back, dude. We want to bring back the love to boxing.
Yes, sir.
From the 80s, 70s.
Yes, sir.
You know, the way my father had me watching when I was a kid.
Right.
We're going to bring that love back,
Yes, sir.
man.
Yes,
And
sir.
we just going to keep doing positive stories and
sir.
promoting people in a positive way. We ain't doing no gossip. We ain't about none of that. We
Right.
about
Yep.
facts.
Yes,
and
sir.
boxing.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean? But we definitely want to bring it back, man. And, I mean, it never really left. You know what I'm saying?
Just gotta
But
wake it up.
I agree.
we
You
want to
gotta
bring
wake
it back
up.
to maybe the newer generation, the younger generation, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? And bring some of the older people back. A lot of the older people have been turned off from the sport. You know, my father won't watch boxing now, but maybe we can educate them and let them come into the new world of boxing, social media, all the things.
I think
that are
free
different.
TV was massive.
It was
Was.
Al
I think
Heyman.
free TV was massive.
Al Heyman
Yeah.
is a genius for that, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because that's one of the
Yeah.
things my
That's
father always
my- yeah.
says, man.
Yeah.
I remember the pay-per-view and all this closed circuit that turned a lot of people away from the
Exactly.
sport.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
just now boxing's every day of the week.
Every day
It's
of the week.
out. I
Right.
can't even keep up with it no
Right.
more, dude. They say it's
Exactly.
fight on Tuesday night,
Exactly.
the weirdest
Thursday,
night.
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
beautiful. It's a beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful thing,
That's
man.
what we needed. Bob Arum also just signed that deal with ESPN. Pacquiao fight on
Pacquiao
ESPN.
fight on
I was like,
ESPN.
wow.
That's crazy.
That's
That's great. I mean, even
Man,
the
it's
probably
Loma
loved it.
and the
Yeah,
Riggle
right,
on
yeah.
ESPN
Yeah.
sold
Yeah,
out
Crawford
in.
too.
Come on, man.
It's
So
massive.
we getting
man.
blessed right now,
Massive,
man. We getting
Yes, sir.
blessed.
I
So
can't wait to get on, get a phone call for one of them cars. It's coming soon.
it's coming, brother. It's
I'll be
coming.
here soon.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming.
I'll be seeing me nationally soon.
And back to what you were saying too about promoting black fighters,
Yes, sir.
that's what we do.
Yes, sir.
Anytime you feel like you got something that you want to express or say,
Yes, sir.
just hit us up.
That's what's
You know,
up.
We can do a show.
That's what's
It don't
up.
even have to be on a certain topic. You got an upcoming fight, anything you want to talk about.
That's what's up.
Or express.
I appreciate it, man.
Just hit us
Yes,
up.
sir.
And, we can get you in again.
Yes, sir. Let's do that.
Because this is what we do. We talk boxing,
Yes,
so
sir.
that's what
Yes,
you
sir.
do. You
Yes,
talk it
sir.
and live
I
it.
love
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Right.
But
Yes, sir.
we definitely talk it. We can talk it all day, man. So I mean, you welcome back anytime, brother.
Okay.
Anytime.
That's what's
Yeah,
up.
for
Appreciate
sure.
it, bro. Appreciate it.
But again, man, thanks for coming through,
Oh yeah,
man.
no doubt, man.
Thanks for coming through
Thanks for
always.
having me, man. Thanks for having me. I'm excited, man. I'm excited
yeah.
that y'all even want to have me on. You know what I mean?
Oh, no,
like
it's all
I'm
love.
still kind of sometimes like, who am I? Why they calling me? You know what I mean? Like that's a blessing. When you hit me, I was totally like surprised. You know what I mean? But I did 2 this week, so I had an interview for CS Boxing Info that gave the award for Fighter of the Year.
Okay.
They came through and did an interview, and then y'all hit me up right after them. I was like, oh wow, you know what I mean? So I kind of show where we heading to. You know what I mean? So it's motivation, man.
And congratulations on that again too, man.
Yes, sir.
Winning
Thank
that,
you.
2017 North Carolina Fighter of the Year,
Yes,
man.
sir.
That's
Appreciate
big
it.
too.
Yes,
That's
sir.
big, man.
Appreciate
So
it. Appreciate it.
congrats on that.
Yeah, we all. But that's all we got for this evening. Like I always say, just subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud, and follow us, Jab Effect, on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Again, my name is Ant. I'm my partner P. And we with the young
sir.
future champ right here.
We out.
We out. Peace.
What's up?
Yeah.